At PHS, a newly introduced rule that restricts student access to social media has had a unique impact on the students and staff here.
So, what caused the social media ban and why was it implemented?
Sure. I believe that it's not just a social media ban. I believe that we need to create separation sometimes between students and their devices. We have a pretty liberal phone policy with our students. I do think that we saw an increasing amount of time students were spending constantly checking. Did I get a text? That then takes them away from their academic work because they feel like they need to respond. And I really felt that that prevented students from focusing academically. You couple with that with some of the behaviors that we had last year and some of the unkind things that we're doing, disrespectful things that were being sent out, that students would see that, get upset. I really just think it took away from the academic emphasis. So that was the reason why we did it last year, just trying to create some limits to create that time and place when you can check it versus when it's academic time, and trying to create some guidelines for students so that allow them to be successful.
Yep. Have you noticed a major change or even a noticeable change amongst students because of this?
I don't know that you can do cause and effect. I think it's multiple things. I think we're now a year related from COVID. I think we have a very involved and compassionate teaching staff and support staff that care about kids and want to support them. And again, I don't know that can be given the credit for such a successful year and such a successful start. But I think, again, we take away those distractions and focus on what's most important right now can help create that atmosphere where we can be successful.
Dr. Richardson's viewpoint as an administrator doesn't always meet eye to eye with staff and students here at PHS.
You've obviously seen a lot of students use technology, so how has this social media ban affected various students?
I'm going to think about it. So back when I taught multimedia web design, we went over terms and conditions of different programs like Snapchat and Instagram or things like that. I would love to be able to tie in, especially when I do photography, with Instagram, with Facebook, social media areas to share our images, but we can't do that because of that social media ban. Not only that, but clubs after school, we have to not use the school's Wi-Fi to do that.
So do you think the social media ban helps children or yourself focus on school, or do you just see it as a hindrance?
No matter how many blocks you put in place, students always get around it. That's, been since I was in high school to nowadays. So we're running to the problem where now that we block social media, there is such an added pressure to go around that block that we're now effectively not blocking anything at all because kids are just using their different VPN. But you're not going to be able to find every single VPN. There's nothing stopping you from running a VPN at your house.
Mr. McKinney is a prominent tech teacher. All of his classes involve the use of technology and the internet, and this ban has had an equally important effect on his and others' school lives.
So, overall, do you agree with this ban or not?
Well, I certainly see both sides, right? It is our job as educators and as essentially the adult to protect students from certain adult content. But there's obviously always a fine line between just blocking obvious things that children shouldn't see, and then things like some things you might see on Instagram that's bad, but there's also stuff on YouTube that's bad, but we can't just block YouTube. So obviously finding that happy medium is going to be hard to do. I personally disagree. I would love to have Snapchat back, and I really miss being able to talk with my friends. I miss being able to go on Instagram, all those good stuff.
Whether students and staff like it or not, the ban is here to stay. The continual impact of it on our school's life is ever prevalent. However, what the future holds for apps here at PHS is ever expanding.